into acting, I started going to a drama group when I was about 12 or 13 after doing school plays and stuff. And my mum pushing me into pursuing it further. And I went to a drama group called the Young Blood Theatre Company, which I did every Saturday for about 4 or 5 years, which is like most people wake up on Saturday morning and don't have to go to school and think, oh, it's fine. I woke up every morning like terrified of knowing that I was going to have to go and improvise, because it was all improvisation and stuff. We never worked from scripts or anything, we just have to make something up. So knowing that for 2 hours a day you're going to have to try and make up something funny and interesting every Saturday. I had a favourite moment working on Treasure Island in the Caribbean Sea on a pirate ship, with fight scenes and sword fighting and firing off muskets and that sort of thing. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid, be a part of that sort of production. So that was, I felt like I made it in some way when I did that. I think growing up in London has been a major influence on me because of the theatre. Because my favourite actor isn't a screen actor, predominantly he's a stage actor. This is Mark Rylance, who I've seen a lot of times through his career since I was very young, and he's been a major influence on me. This is the best we've got, literally the best actor that we've had in this country. I never saw Laurence Olivier, I was too young, but I think he's the Laurence Olivier of our generation. Being on big movie sets, I mean, I worked very briefly on Harry Potter, but being on a set like that and just the amount of unbelievable skills being all brought in and honed in to make something incredible. Like going in just the prosthetic rooms and they have the creature warehouse where they've got the basilisks and dragons and stuff, and just the incredible effort that's put into all of those things. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's like proper movie magic. I think it's wicked. I like to get dressed in Burberry if it's possible. I think they've got an amazing, quintessentially British style that I really like. I'm just sort of trying to wear it as much as possible, so eventually they'll just look at all what I've done and realise that I only wear their clothes, and then maybe they'll let me be in their ad campaign or something. I really like Burberry. Style icon? Prince.
Theatre is, I think, extra special to me because it's all about the camaraderie. If you're filming, I know it probably looks like, I mean, in an hour's episode, you see all these different characters, and you kind of imagine that everyone stays down and watches everyone's takes and stuff like that. But you can actually go through, if it's a big ensemble piece, kind of like Broadchurch actually, you can go through and you meet the people that you've got your scenes with, but then you don't really get a real sense of what everyone's doing, and theatre's just so collaborative. And then on that first night, it's like, boom, let's bloody show up. It's like show and tell when you're like 6 years old and you've got a can and you bring in a little picture. This is like going, I've got a panther. That's the extra special spicy flavour that pips stage acting to film acting for me. It's massively exciting to be acting at the National Theatre. Yeah, I can't quite believe it, and I think the first couple of weeks of rehearsals are going to be slowly, letting it dawn I think the weight of what it will actually feel like to actually go on the stage and do Shakespeare there. But it's brilliant, yeah, I can't wait. My favourite part of the acting process on stage is definitely the previews. So you do the sort of 4 or 7 week rehearsal period, and then you have the first time that you go in front of an audience, and effectively it's kind of still rehearsal period, and that's when a lot of things change, and it's still, you get the energy from the audience, and it's all very fresh and new. And although you carry on finding stuff out all the way through the run, I think that's a particularly exciting time. Socks, yeah, it's all about socks. Start from the bottom and work your way up. That's my secret. If you've got good socks on, you're going to be fine. Look, these are actually my socks. And the thing is that if you have a drawer that are filled with like brilliant socks, you don't even have to choose. So like today, I just went, I'm just going to wear these. I could have been doing polka dots right now, but I'm not. I'm doing blue, yellow and white and black Aztec. I feel confident for it.
The most exotic place I've ever shot is probably Cuba or St. Petersburg. in Russia. Cuba was like no other place I'd ever been to. It was quite poverty-stricken, but yet at the same time the people were really so kind of happy and full of life. And there was music on the street corners, and it was just like another world, really. It was, the buildings were faded grandeur and sort of falling down, the old cars. It was like a movie, but and it was an extraordinary place, Cuba. The present TV series, The Man Who Will Be Bond, I'm shooting in Budapest, and it focuses on the life of Ian Fleming, his early life before he started the novels. So it's there's lots of sort of action, Bond-like action, and lots of very pretty girls as well. I think what I love about the British period drama is that I firstly love dressing up in all that garb, and secondly I think they're great stories, and often they're, you know, period dramas taken from books, great books, and whether it's D.H. Lawrence or Jane Austen or Dostoevsky or whatever it may be, the ones I've done, they're always great stories with great journeys, and the characters have great journeys through the book and through the script. So for me, that's really what it is, and I love being a part of those epic ideas and epic stories. I was really lucky to work for the Royal Shakespeare Company up in Stratford for a year. I did Romeo and Juliet and King John, and it was a real challenge for me doing those plays. They're big plays, and everyone knows Romeo and Juliet so well. So taking on Romeo was really, I was really scared, but at the same time really excited. And I think why we all love stories like Romeo and Juliet and all those Shakespeares is that they're great, they're universal stories, I think, with universal themes of love, death, and I think we all kind of have an understanding and an affiliation with those things. So, like all great stories, we want to hear them again and witness them again. So, being at the RSC was a real journey for me, and a real eye-opener on doing theatre of that scale every night. I did Romeo and Juliet over about 110 times, I think, so it was a long period of time. And it's weird where you go through that journey of 100 performances, so it was a real challenge, but something that I will always remember and love. Yeah. My style secret probably is whatever you wear it with confidence, and then you probably will get away with it. Also, colourful socks is always highly recommended.
About Time is an amazing new project from Richard Curtis, who I grew up with watching, and it's just perfect. It's funny, it's sad, technically got sci-fi in it because it's about time travel. So it's Richard doing something he's never done before, and dealing with really quite amazing ideas and putting a unique twist on that he's never dealt with before. So to be part of that is so exciting. And you know, you pinch yourself on set with, let alone Richard Curtis, with all the other people that are in it. So to be a part of it is crazy. I'm not sure whether Posh is based on fantasy or fact, or reflects fantasy or fact, is an interesting one, because I think what makes it so amazing is it's obviously based on the idea of dining societies which exist, one of which is the Bullingdon Club. However, there are loads at many different universities. So there's but the club in the play was purely fictional, as were all of the characters. None of them were based, as some people said, on Cameron or Osborne or Boris. Just not true. But in terms of what it reflects in society, I think, yeah, it is true. There are people, just as any realistic play should do, it reflects something that exists or did exist. And there are people out there, not just at universities or dining societies or any type of society, there are people out there that feel this entitlement, and privilege and money has something to do with that. However, you know, we've also seen how the opposite is true. Everyone can feel a certain type of entitlement. people go, oh, Turner, and you just got to nod your head and go, oh God, yeah, God, amazing. The subject matter didn't draw me to the project. Mike Leigh, I mean, what a dream to work with. I mean, the epitome of an English director, I think. He is legendary, and that's not an exaggeration. So to work with him and his process is going to be really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. God, my favourite style accessory, I think the best thing I've ever bought is my glasses. They help me see, which is crucial, and I wear them every day, and I love them. So, and they're Tom Ford, so they're probably my style accessory, and they're a must because I have to see. That's probably it.
I went into acting originally because my teachers told me that I was good at it, so I just thought I'd try and keep the peace and keep everybody happy and just have an easier time at school by just doing what I was told. But I think the main reason that I got involved was originally, until I was about 16, I wanted to be in the Royal Marines, and I was convinced that that was what I was going to do in my life, and I was going to be a Royal Marine. And then I kind of had an epiphany that all I knew about the Royal Marines and soldiers and the army and everything was from films and TV programmes like Saving Private Ryan and things, and I kind of thought, oh, well, they've done a really good job of making me believe it and, you know, really invest in these programmes, but they're not real soldiers, they just play acting. And then I kind of thought, well, then here's a job where you can one day be a soldier and then the next day you can be a lawyer and then a doctor and then a fireman, and it just seemed like the most exciting opportunity in the world that I would never have to pick one job. I could have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds before I die. So that's kind of the reason I decided to stick with it. One of my favourite moments from my career so far is probably when I got to go to the Arctic Circle with Rennie Harlin for 3 months to do a film. Just because it was such an extreme environment to work in, and also one of the other actors said to me, would you rather have a career that's built on working in studios and having people bringing you coffee and sitting in a lovely little fabric chair every day, or would you rather go to the far end of the scale and work in some really harsh conditions and really feel like you've earned your paycheck? So being able to say that I've been to the Arctic Circle for work and then come back alive and have a film at the end of it is a pretty good feeling. It's a really exciting time to be a British actor at the moment. I think they've gotten more attention than they ever have throughout history. If you look at even things like HBO, that's a classic American big channel, big cable channel, it's dominated by British actors, and that kind of speaks volumes in terms of where we stand and how respected we are within the industry on a global level. And I think that for a long time, British TV and British film was just basically trying to replicate American kind of values and replicate American culture and art. And I think in the last few years we've kind of become a bit more confident, and we've built a much more of a kind of strong cultural identity. And I think so much has happened in the last 10 years that it's informed so much of, you know, if you look at the rise of Shane Meadows, there's nothing American about any of those films, and then that's given rise to people like Paddy Considine, who's in turn managed to, you know, highlight actresses like Olivia Colman and then Peter Mullen. I think that there's a real sense of being proud to be British, and that isn't getting lost in the kind of global whirlpool of culture. It's really standing out and speaking up for itself. Yeah, that's a great thing. My style icon's probably Steve McQueen. And I just think if you can't understand why, then there's something wrong with you. I just think he's probably the coolest person that's ever lived, ever. I know a lot of people say like Frank Sinatra at one end or like James Dean at the other, but I think he's somewhere in the middle, Steve McQueen, because he can look really sophisticated and really refined, but then also he's got the kind of like biker military combat thing going on. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think he occupies a space that's like, it's just traditional masculinity, cool, laid back, simple, but with a kind of little bit of a hint of aggression, a little bit of revel about it, you know. So I think he's such a dude. I'd like to dress like him every day.
Need to believe